Next on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
We head to Montana to learn more about how to manage BVD on your operation. Plus, how you can learn more about beef cattle reproductive strategies. And we'll spend a day in the life of California cattle rancher Dwayne Martin.
And now, NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman with your host, Susie Ross.
Hello, I'm Susie Ross. Thanks for watching Cattleman to Cattleman. The renewable energy debate on Capitol Hill leads this week's cattle industry news. Energy legislation was passed by each House of Congress earlier this year, but with important differences. The Senate is attempting to mandate production of 15 billion more gallons of renewable fuel from feed grain products over the next 8 years. This represents a 100% increase in the renewable fuel standards that NCBA members cannot support. The House version calls for no such increase. So as Congress prepares to conference in this legislation, NCBA is working to educate lawmakers about the Senate bill's potential impact on the livestock industry. NCBA is also stressing the need to develop renewable fuels from products other than feed grains. When building or expanding your cattle herd, failing to invest in quality genetics can be a costly mistake. We have more in this week's Market Watch.
Market Watch, brought to you by Pfizer Animal Health.
Joining us this week is Lee Leachman, manager of Leachman Cattle of Colorado. Welcome, Lee.
Hi, Susie. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you here. Would you please tell us a little bit about Leachman Cattle?
Yes, we're located here in Colorado. We're just up north of Fort Collins, and we're in the genetics or seed stock business. We market about 1,000 bulls a year. Several different breed lines. We have Black Angus and Red Angus and a stabilizer composite for our maternal lines and 2 terminal lines that are Charolais and Simmental.
For producers that are interested in building a herd, how important is the quality of those genetics and what should they be looking for?
Well, we think that genetics play a very important part. Obviously, management is important as well, but genetics really determine the potential of the herd that you have. And we think that producers need to really focus on buying the right genetics for their environment and management, making sure that the genetics perform at the traits that they market. In other words, if they sell calves at weaning, then certain traits matter. If they retain ownership, other traits matter. And so we think there are big differences in genetics on the amount of profitability that they can generate.
Okay, so that brings up my next question. You know the question's going to come up. They're going to ask, if I make that investment in quality genetics, am I going to see a return?
I think if you look at the marketplace today, there's never been more differential in price as cattle are sold. And whether you sell them at weaning time or sell them at slaughter, big ranges in value depending on the quality of the animals. And we actually go through and try to turn our genetic estimates, our EPDs, into dollar values so that our customers can measure the differences that they're going to get. And there are huge differences. I mean, very easy for a bull to generate a $100 difference in value in progeny over about 100 progeny in his lifetime. That's a $10,000 difference. And reasonably speaking, you're going to pay between $1,500 and $4,500 for a bull. And so much more difference in true value than there is in price.
That's great information. Good stuff. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
For more information, you can visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org. This fall, more than 270 members of the cattle industry traveled to Billings, Montana to attend a symposium which focused on applied reproductive strategies. This 2-day program brought cattlemen the latest reproductive information that can improve their operations' efficiency and profitability.
This program is really about the single most important factor in profitable beef production, and that is reproduction. And 2 days focusing on reproductive efficiency, why we have differences in conception rates, whether it be with natural service or artificial insemination, and then going clear through to some of the factors involved with on the bull side as well, which you just don't see programming like that in the United States.
Cattlemen and veterinarians from several states attended the meeting to learn more about the latest in beef cattle reproductive strategies like AI and estrus synchronization methods.
And it's geared towards veterinarians, extension educators, allied industry personnel, but most importantly producers. And for producers to understand the technologies that are available for both synchronization utilizing AI and natural service, and then taking that clear through on how it can add value to your own operation.
The program in Montana was the 8th meeting of its kind since 2002. Plans are underway for future meetings in various parts of the U.S.
We're currently planning a meeting in January of 2008 in Moline, Illinois, and then 2 more next fall to winter. We have some extra copies of the proceedings in a hard copy form, and we can also make CDs. We have a very nice CD made that has all of the papers from the proceedings.
To learn more about these meetings, check out cattlemantocattleman.org for details about the next meeting in your area. It's called the Montana BVD PI Screening Project. Ahead, we'll show you how the project is working to manage the disease. Plus, we're heading west to California to spend a day in the life of rancher Dwayne Martin. But first, here's a look at this week's market summary provided by CattleFax.
Purina's wind and rain minerals are research tested and field proven to provide balanced mineral nutrition essential for cattle health, growth, and reproduction. They're highly palatable so cattle consume what they need when they need it. And wind and rain minerals special formulation resists the elements so they won't blow out of the feeder and maintain their palatability even if they've been wet. Wind and rain cattle minerals from Purina Mills, building better cattle.
2 100% pure USDA inspected patties are only the beginning of what make the Big Mac famous, and that's what we're made of.
You know there's more to raising cattle than adding pounds and a strong bottom line. It includes a commitment to deliver quality beef, lean, flavorful, safe, and wholesome. That's why Fort Dodge Animal Health brings you the Synovex family of growth implants. Proven tools for higher performance. Quality, wholesomeness, performance, profit. Fort Dodge Animal Health knows they're important to you, so they're important to us. For more information on Synovex implants, visit us online.
Welcome back to Cattleman to Cattleman. Cattle persistently infected with bovine viral diarrhea, or BVD, can cause problems in your herd and for your bottom line. But now a project called the BVD PI Herd Screening Project is working to improve overall cattle health.
Hello, I'm John Patterson, Extension Beef Specialist from Montana State University. Today we'd like to visit with you about the Montana BVD PI project. This project was started approximately 2 years ago in response to stories that we'd heard that some calves just weren't responding to treatment in the feed yard, and that ranchers had said they'd had problems with cows maybe not rebreeding or an immune problem on their calves. And so the BVD PI project was started, and it has about 3 objectives. Number 1, to find out what is the incidence of persistently infected calves in the state, calves that have come down with BVD. Secondly, could we test whole herds quickly and economically to tell the ranchers that yes, you may have a problem, or secondly, no, you're PI free. And thirdly, could we then begin to set up a biosecurity program on the ranch so that you would have less of a chance of maybe having calves come in, or less of a chance of having the PI problem in the future. With the project and with me today are several participants in the program, and the first one I'd like to have you listen to is Mr. Pat Murphy, the manager of the Cattle Development Center here in Custer, Montana. Tell us a little bit about how you've gone to a biosecurity program here.
Well, John, we're 100% biosecurity with all the cattle coming into the feedlot now. We test them on arrival. These cattle, there was about 1,200 head in this group. We tested these calves at branding. They were about 2 months old at the time, 2-3 months old. We tested, we found 3 positives. We pulled the calves and we eliminated them. We have not had much of a health issue at all. with these cattle. It's eliminated a pin rider for us.
Can you spot a BVD animal out here in the feed yard?
I can't.
Well, we've heard that guys can say, well, I can spot a BVD animal, so you're saying you can't spot a BVD animal?
I can't spot a BVD, and only through testing are we aware of which ones. I've had some very healthy cattle in appearance come positive.
I'm Tom Hogan, a cow-calf producer from Melstone, Montana. With me today is my son Alan and Clint Peck with the Montana PI BVD project. I think the inception, Clint, of this project began when you came to my ranch one day to address some producers, and you wondered what the 5 calves or yearlings I had in the garden were.
Spotted those calves, Tom, and I wondered what the heck they were, and that got us into this conversation about BVD and finding PI cattle on your operation, and that was the inception of this project, that now we've screened 100,000 head of cattle this year for this virus.
We had found out that we had PI BVDs in the fall of 2002 when our replacement heifers had illness in it that we could not treat. So the following spring, Alan, we did a whole herd test.
Yep, and the positives that we found, we went back out in the pasture and sorted with the number of the positive. We, on the ear tag, found the cow and the calf and sorted them off separate, got them away from the rest of the herd.
The bottom line, Tom, is that you've gone through a total whole herd screening process to find the virus and eliminate that reservoir of the virus from your cattle operation.
We have.
Correct?
We have, and we aggressively got a vaccination program in place, and since then any cattle that come onto the ranch, we give them the test to make sure we're not bringing a PI onto the ranch.
So you've got the elements in place of screening for the virus and eliminating PI animals from your herd. You're vaccinating for the virus, and you're screening any new additions to your herd.
When we return, we'll head back to Montana to learn more about the BVD PI herd screening project. We'll be right back.
Out here, you do a job right, then you move on. And when the job is fast treatment of shipping fever, Baytril 100 is how you do it. It's designed specifically for first-line treatment of bovine respiratory disease, for use by or on the order of a licensed veterinarian. Extra label use in food-producing animals is prohibited. Ask your veterinarian for more information. When the job is killing BRD fast, choose Baytril 100. Right the first time.
Rush to Reno. The 2008 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and Trade Show. For fun, for education, for new ideas. For more information, visit beefusa.org.
Welcome back. The BVD virus is causing problems for cattle and ranchers around the world. Let's head back to Montana to learn more about the efforts to manage the disease.
When setting up a biosecurity program on a ranch, it's critical that you have the help of a veterinarian. And with us now is Dr. Rachel O'Connor from Ekalaka. Rachel, why is it important to test for BVD and especially these PI calves?
Well, John, as a veterinarian, a large majority of my clients are cow-calf producers, and these BVD PI calves are a significant reservoir for the virus. And in order to optimize reproductive efficiency in a cattle herd, I think we need to eliminate these PIs from the groups. The best time to do it is on baby calves at, say, branding time, prior to bull turnout, prior to breeding, prior to the exposure, where the problem causes the biggest significance. And these baby calves, when you're running them, when you're branding them, you're tagging them, you're vaccinating them, you might as well just be taking that little ear notch out of their ear, and it's very, very easy, simple screening process for the whole herd. We've got half a dozen or so clients that are involved in the BVD screening process, and our own herd is one of them, and that's comforting knowing that they have a clean herd and that they can keep it out of the herd by strategic vaccination and screening animals that come into the herd, such as new bulls, replacement heifers, short-term cows, or anything that they purchase through a sale barn or from a neighbor.
Joining us now is Dr. Bruce Hoffman from Animal Profiling. Dr. Hoffman, would you show us how we take a sample to measure for PI in the laboratory?
Thanks, John. And as was mentioned earlier, because we can't visually see a BVD persistently infected animal, we require a sample to analyze for the actual BVD virus. Animal Profiling International has developed a screening method using PCR and ELISA technology that looks for the actual RNA virus in the skin of the animal. It starts with a simple ear notch that we take from the calf. That ear notch then is kept cool or frozen and shipped to our facility in Portland, Oregon, where we analyze it and get the results back to the rancher by the next business day. To take the ear notch sample, we take the notch from the outer third of the ear, and we simply just take a small ear notcher and take one notch from the ear, and we use that notch and we place that notch in a 5 ml red top blood tube. Now it's important that we identify the tube with the individual number from the animal, so that if that animal is positive, we can go back and find that animal and separate it from the other animals. I think what we've demonstrated is that PIs occur in small numbers, and in order to find the persistently infected animal on the ranch, it requires that we sample all the calves to find the animals that are presently PI. I think we've demonstrated that it's simple. We've demonstrated that with quick turnaround time, we can actually apply this at the time of either calving or branding prior to turning that bull in, because we know that we want to eliminate the PI calf prior to that exposure to the first trimester period of that gestation of that mother cow.
Since we started this project 2 years ago, we've tested about 140,000 calves throughout the state. This wouldn't have happened unless we'd had the leadership of the stock growers and the producers of this state. We're fortunate to have been able to come in and start such a large experiment, and we hope to be able to carry it on for the next 2 years. So far, we've had about 400 ranchers enrolled in the program, and we hope to be able to get at least another 400 ranchers, so that we've got a large data set that demonstrates you can take care of the BVD PI problem if you find it in your herd.
For more information, head to our website at cattlemantocattleman.org. We'll be right back.
Our quarter pounder with cheese is made from 100% pure USDA beef. That means there's 0% anything else. That's what we're made of.
More time on the job means more work gets done. And when the job's all about keeping your herd healthy and productive, remember, only BovaShield Gold FP helps provide a full year's fetal protection against BVD persistent infections and IBR abortions. Why risk using anything less? Ask your veterinarian or animal health supplier about BovaShield Gold.
One of our favorite types of stories on Cattleman to Cattleman is our Day in the Life segment. This week we head west to California to visit rancher Dwayne Martin. Let's take a look.
Well, when I started in the cattle business, I guess I just did it because I like cows. And it's difficult to get in a lot of numbers in a hurry or anything, so that I just drove that cement truck as long as I could till I thought I got enough cows to where I could sustain a living. And my goal in life was maybe to have 300 cows someday. Well, when I got there, I never ever thought about a goal or anything after that. I just kept going, and here I am, and I don't know how I got here.
We manage them as one. I've got my cow herd and he's got his. I run my yearlings and he runs his. All the cattle are separate. But we manage it as one unit, work together every day to make decisions on what we ought to do in marketing and purchasing. We lease some properties from different park agencies and water district agencies, and they create some challenges, you know, dealing with the red-legged frog habitat, kit fox habitat, and dealing with the public, because they've got a lot of people that'll hike through all them ranches that are open to the public. They're owned by the public, so they allow them to come in, and dealing with the bulls being out there at different times of the year can be difficult. You know, making sure that the grass meets the requirements. You've got minimum dry matter requirements and maximum dry matter requirements, and they'll be out there measuring the grass in May and measuring it again in September, making sure that you meet all these requirements. And it's not a matter of what you think's right, it's a matter of what they want. And when they say jump, you just say how high and try to make it work for everybody.
But that's kind of the way it is here. You can't buy any ranches. I mean, I've managed to get one or two, but it's taken a long time. We breed quite a few heifers for replacements and raise all our replacements. And calving was a problem, trying to find Cavanese bulls. So we went to a longhorn breeding program, and we did that for several years. And we found it to be okay, but we bought our bulls and kept them over, and you hate to keep them old bulls over for so long just to use them the next season. And we met with Agri-Beef, and they got into a Wagyu program to sell American Kobe beef. And so we're breeding all our heifers 2 Wagyu bulls now, and they have a very small calf. It's very Cavanese.
It works good for us because we breed these heifers as yearlings, less than at a year of age, and the Wagyu bull throws a little calf. We don't hardly pull any calves, and here in California, when these cows are on good feed year-round, that last 30 days of gestation, that calf can really grow. And if we use low birth weight bulls of any type other than Wagyu or Longhorn, we can get into a lot of calving problems.
What's really unique about California is we can run cattle here summer and winter and on grass at all times. My cows really never seen a bale of hay unless there's a drought or something. But if you went out there in the pickup and took a bale of hay and spread it out, they'd probably just look at you. They have green feed here 12 months of the year. The winter, the foothills, it starts to rain in November, and the green grass will start, and they'll graze in the foothills till April or May, and then they come into irrigated pastures, and they summer on them, or go to Oregon to summer grass, or I take some to Nevada, the meadows, to summer grass. We truck our cows to grass, so we don't truck any hay or feed any. I just love them cows and calves. That's just the way it is. I can go look at them every day.
We so much enjoy the diversity of farms and ranches we get to see through our Legacy Photos program. Let's take a look at this week's selection. Keep sending those photos. To do so, head to our website at cattlemantocattleman.org. Next week, we visit the Wisconsin Farm and Technology Days. Plus, we spend a day in the life of a Montana cattle rancher. Also, your news and market headlines. Before we wrap up this week, we wanted to remind you about an exciting effort to increase interest in large animal veterinary medicine. Fort Dodge Animal Health has teamed up with the National Cattlemen's Foundation to offer 5 $5,000 legacy scholarships. 3 scholarships will be offered to veterinary school students who have chosen an emphasis in beef production, and 2 scholarships will be offered to undergrad students enrolled in an animal science program. Our viewers can help by faxing qualifying Fort Dodge Animal Health invoices to 1-800-330-4720. The company will donate 3% of sales to the Fort Dodge Animal Health Legacy Scholarship for a total of $25,000. Head to our website at cattlemantocattleman.org for more information about qualifying products and how to apply for one of these outstanding legacy scholarships. Thanks for joining us on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. Be sure to tune in next week. A new episode airs every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern Time right here on RFD TV.